Doesn't even matter. I'm done.
Nothing matters.
I'm done.
You're done what?
I'm done.
You're done what?
I'm over it.
Over what?
You.
You're over me.
I'm over you, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we were friends for a couple minutes before this, and now I'm finished.
All right.
Yeah.
Do we need to have like a, some kind of closure fight?
Is that we used to conclude things? I can't just walk away. Like, one of us has to die.
Yeah, like we have to have major negativity conflict.
Okay, so not like a battle, but like an actual like harsh feelings and emotions.
Yeah, like let's hurt each other's feelings.
Okay, that sounds.
So we never want to be friends again.
Okay, I could do that.
Because this like back and forth friendship thing is stupid when people do that.
I don't think it's a very good idea.
Yeah.
So.
We've done it.
Right? Yeah.
We've done that.
I love hurting your feelings.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. If you weren't such a good friend.
If I wasn't such a good friend.
I wouldn't love making you feel awful all the time. Embarrassing people. Embarrassing you is my favorite still. It doesn't really happen much anymore.
No.
You used to.
Probably not.
Or you're just not as embarrassed by things.
Do you think that you've lost your edge, or do you think I'm less embarrassable?
I think my edge is sharper than it's ever been. However, I just don't think I really do it to you as much at this point.
Really?
Not really. I mean, when we used to go to the store and I told people you're
right. Yeah, you don't.
You know?
Well, we don't go places a lot. You know what I mean? Like we don't hang out
outside of this.
Yeah, not really.
Well, we get like food occasionally.
We do, but
after this we're gonna go to Walmart.
Usually what we do is we just hang around at home.
Oh, that's right. I go to your house. So I guess we do just hang out.
Yeah. So who are you gonna embarrass me in front of? This is like one of your only platforms to do so. To
embarrass you in front of all my friends online.
Yeah.
All my peers and some of yours too, because you've got people on your list that join the Blue Lady podcast. Check us out weekly.
Yeah.
So I don't want to embarrass you anymore. I've grown out of that.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that cool?
Mm-hmm.
So guess what I have this week?
Crystal Pepsi. I saw some at Family Dollar or something the other day, and I thought of you, but I figured you probably already had some.
Yeah, a buddy of mine actually.
Holy crap! For me.
Yeah.
69 sugar grams. Jeez, there's so much sugar in this.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's just water. It looks like water.
It is just a glass of water with 69 sugars. Yeah. No, I'm excited because
Crystal Pepsi.
As a kid.
Crystal Pepsi.
I loved this.
Yeah.
Because it's just Pepsi. Literally, to me, it tastes just like Pepsi. Actually, I don't taste the difference. I've drank Pepsi my whole life, and I love it. And I really don't drink soda much anymore. But to get some of this was kind of like a little treat, just because.
It's very nostalgic. Is that the label that it used to be? The same?
I think so. I mean, they might have changed the actual icon of Pepsi to fit the current image, but I'm sure 90% of this is probably the same. I don't remember exactly. I have to look at something online.
Weird.
So I've been thinking about something a lot this week.
What's that?
Being happy, laughing, having a good time, and in the face of difficulty, continuing, And I still think about what you said some weeks back, which is to be in a constant state of bliss. I think about that a lot.
Yeah.
To actively search for that, perpetual, just to basically make it one more layer that is just over everything that's already happening. To be on the search for it, and you can struggle while still being blissful. You can still, everything you're doing can be that journey for bliss.
I love knowing that I love that you think about stuff so much that we talk about.
All the time. I love. Do
you hear my voice in your head ever?
Yeah, all the time, constantly, and I share it with other people. That's my favorite part, is doing this. My literal favorite thing about doing this podcast is that we'll have an evening, we'll have a discussion, we'll have a bunch of information come out, and we'll talk for 2 hours, and then literally a day or two later, I'll be talking with somebody who's having a problem, and I'll be like, you need to tune into what just happened, because we literally just discussed this, and it's, I promise you, pertinent.
Cool.
And it happens all the time. I think there's definitely some manifestation of, this is important to exist, so I can redirect somebody towards it instantly.
That's awesome.
It is. It's very, very, very cool.
That's really cool.
It makes me happy. How was your week?
It was good.
What does that mean?
It was good.
Okay, you can't just use the same word to just.
It means not bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
like good.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, this is such a dumb way to describe it.
Good.
Okay, yeah.
Good.
Not bad.
Good.
Yeah.
Bueno.
Keep up with that word.
Bueno.
Okay, bueno.
It was good. So last week I told you that my job change thing was kind of wigging me out a little bit.
Oh, right.
Mentally.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just settled a lot more this week. I've just gotten more comfortable just with the change.
Okay.
I mean, that's really the main thing that I have. If I was going to say struggled with anything lately, that's the main thing that has been, a challenge.
Job stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a massive change.
It is, especially I think if like you, for example, what you do for work, it's inseparable from who you are.
Right.
Like there's no way to just change trajectories. Like it's so much part of who you are, and mine feels like that to me.
Sure.
So it's been it's just been kind of strange in that way for me mentally, but I've relaxed a lot more this week about it.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah,
sort of easing into it and approaching everything with a new perspective and like a new sort of like readiness.
Yeah, and I'm finding that, well, because I had taken a weekish off or so.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went back this week, just sort of minimally part-time. And so I kind of just felt like I caught that same groove again. And I was like, oh, this isn't so different. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It was really more than anything me just thinking, whoa, what does this mean? And this is a huge change. And this is such a transition. And, at the end of the day, what we're doing here is kind of what I do for a living.
Right.
And at the end of the day, I mean, it's I do it everywhere. So why I was looking at it like, oh, what now?
Right.
I don't know, but turns out it wasn't that big of a jump.
Same dance, different song.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. Just sort of finding like the new groove.
Yes.
I consider it like, okay, this is my analogy, so I can understand things because I'm dumb. It's like I'm playing Mega Man 1. Then I got to move on to Mega Man 2. And there's an adjustment because, like, it's the same mechanics, but it's a different, like, world. Mm-hmm. But then, trust me.
That's right.
Yep, Mega Man.
Yep.
That's pretty good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm really glad to hear that, though.
I'm bored now.
I'm bored, yeah. Podcast is done again.
I'm bored out of my mind now.
You don't like talking about Mega Man?
This is what we're going to fight about.
About Mega Man?
Yeah.
He's so cool, though.
When you were Mega Man at what's
the
it called?
Convention was
the convention?
The Albuquerque Comic Expo. Ace. Yeah.
That was great.
I liked it.
That was great. And I did also like when you were the boxer kid.
Oh, Little Mac.
Mac.
That's right. That's one of my favorites to do. Because I feel like, well, it's an easy costume, so it actually feels very accurate. But also when I get to go work out and train for a costume like that, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I remember you working out up to that. Did you work out before you were Mega Man?
A little bit. It wasn't as much, but I had started getting into it at that point to sort of slide into the role a little bit better because, I wanted to be a little bit more confident in myself, and working out does that. Even if I don't actually see like much gain, I feel more confident.
Yeah, if you're going to prance around half naked.
Yeah.
In front of, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people.
Right. I want to feel confident. I want to feel like I look all right. And whether I do, it is ultimately irrelevant. I just want to feel confident.
Yeah. I think that kind of feeds into the whole bliss thing.
Yes.
Regardless of what's happening, regardless of how I look, I want to feel okay about how I look.
Yeah.
Feel good about
the
how I look.
outside perspective is ultimately just sort of exists, but it doesn't pertain to anything that I'm actually doing.
I mean, I think we don't do so hot when we measure ourselves based on what other people see.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a total recipe for feeling bad.
Yeah.
Generally.
Yeah, because you're sticking all your value in everybody else's hands.
Yeah.
And you're dividing it into like mini tickets. And if all the tickets aren't returned to you, you don't get the return back. And ultimately, you just keep sort of feeling like, hey, what are you going to give that? Because I want to know.
Do you notice that when you do anything kind of public eye-ish, you get good feedback, but if you get a little bit of negative feedback, like you have to attend to that a little bit more, like you have to make that less relevant to yourself?
Yeah.
Or did you used to struggle with that more?
I used to a lot more. one of the big things, and this is actually interesting because, I went to like this expo a couple weeks ago regarding, like YouTubers and video games and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I'm very confident in those fields, but it's one of those things where I did like an interview some years back with a pseudo celebrity, Smooth McGroove, and he does a cappella video game music. So I did a YouTube interview with him.
I remember that. And
it was such a blast. And it meant so much to me. And for him and I, we were having a conversation. But for anybody who was listening in, they had to deal with my mannerisms. And when I'm speaking, something that I think you might notice, or other people might notice, or the other people do, is I'll constantly,
yeah,
okay, like an acknowledgement. It's just something I picked up, and that's what I do. Sorry. But a lot of people on the channel would make comments like, hey, that was a great interview, or hey, can the dude like shut up, without saying or help, yes or okay every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And I really had to build a thick skin based off of that. And eventually I got to the point where what I did is I never went back to the comment section ever again.
Don't read it.
And was like, I feel much better.
No, just don't read it.
That was my bliss, was leaving those things behind, because I couldn't change anything. I couldn't redo anything. I couldn't undo anything. I couldn't alter a bit of it other than to say, I'm sorry, maybe next time I'll do something different. Mm-hmm. And that's literally the most I could do. And one of them actually, this is like, I think the last one that I read before it irked me to the point of leaving was, I said, listen, guys, like some dude made a comment, this is super unprofessional. I can't believe, I wanted to come here, listen to an interview, not some dudes, like just grunt for half an hour or whatever. And I was like, okay, man, like I can't change it. I would love to, but number one, I'm also not a professional interviewer. I've never done this before. Like, this is not my forte. And it's not like an excuse, but like, I can't do anything about it. And this is my first time ever doing something like this. Mm-hmm. And he was like, well, it's not an excuse, and you can't use that because, and he went off on a whole list of stuff that I was like, okay, I still can't change it. So I just literally, that was the last one. I packed up the box, I put it in the closet, and was like, cool, if you want to watch my video, enjoy. And if not, dude, whatever. And I just...
when you, anytime that, do you comment on videos, YouTube videos yourself? Do you ever comment on stuff?
Not very often, to be totally honest.
All right. Well, if you were to take however often you do it and multiply that by 50, so that you're doing it more regularly, mm-hmm. like, can you see yourself saying just criticism of like, this was, I mean, it could have been a really rad interview, and it could have been interesting in this way, and the dynamic between the people was cool, but one thing bugged you, like, would that be what you would comment about?
I don't think so.
Because it takes a certain mentality to take that and to comment on only that. There's a certain mentality and non-bliss that has to be in a person's mentality in order to only, I mean, because if somebody is generally happy, that the way that we do that is we reach to look at the things that are not upsetting. Mm-hmm. And so if somebody is doing that, then naturally they're saying things that are positive.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, the things that come out of our mouth, they really tell us where our mentality is at.
Yeah.
And, if that's actually what was derived from that interview by that individual.
Yeah, an hour and a half of me talking to this dude.
I promise you that individual is going other places and making similar observations everywhere, and like, similar disapprovals in other places, and including to himself probably, because that's a hell of a thing for the one thing you say to be that.
Right. Yeah. Did you not get his favorite music or his favorite this or his favorite games or all the other questions I asked him? Sure, I could have done it better, and I'm cool with that, because anybody who acknowledged it constructively, I go, oh, that makes sense, and next time I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Cool.
And
okay.
You're somebody that likes polarity. You like to talk and debate.
Very much.
And you really like to. I mean, you're challengeable.
Yes.
And it doesn't cower you or crumble you. Like, you seem to enjoy it a lot. So I know that it's not that you can't listen to something counter to the way you think. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's just a trip, though, for that to be the one thing somebody says.
And it was a lot of people who focused on that. And I was like, okay, guys, clearly, but. Really, like, and some people did say, hey, that's a great interview, but maybe next time, cool, that's great. That's actually like the best case scenario feedback. Sure. But if some guys is all, God, shut up, it's like, okay, like that means nothing to me, or people will, go into videos sometimes and just be like, oh, fuck you. And it's like,
Yeah.
That's literally the most dead end thing possible. I can absolutely do nothing with that.
So we just watched that video of Jenna Dewan Tatum dancing with Travis somebody.
Yeah.
In the So You Think You Could Dance thing. And I had John watch it because I came across it earlier tonight, and it's incredibly sexy. It's very, 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 very sexy. And if you look through the comments, because I read them, there were only like 18 when I last checked it. And I read through, and they were mostly really positive. But this one person, okay, first of all, the part of them dancing was like a minute and a half.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't long. But the comment that this dude put, or I think it was a guy, put was, "Oh, that was so redundant. That was like watching the same thing over and over and over." And like, it's a minute and a half. How did you not see any variation in this dance was really variegated.
Yeah.
But this individual, what he saw was, I don't know, like he wanted to see fireworks shooting off this way.
Yeah, motorcycles exploding.
Yeah, or like fall off or
right, yeah.
Something different.
Yeah, a successful dance happened.
30 seconds of dancing. I can't handle this. It's not stimulating enough or something.
Yeah.
And that was the comment that he had put there, which I thought was really kind of funny and interesting, because I was like, what? Okay, I mean, if that's what you see and that's what you gather when you look at it, then probably there's something in your mentality that feels that way about things that you look at. That's your lenses. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because it has nothing to do with that actually being redundant
completely
or boring.
Yeah, and I see comments like this a whole lot where people will watch something of that nature and they'll be like, well, there's a minute and a half, I'll never get back. And it's like, but you chose to do that. You made that choice.
Right. So if you had done something else, would you get it? Would you still have that minute and a half or something?
I know it's just like a stupid dramatic thing, but it's like, that means nothing. It's such a dumb thing. Okay, it's dumb.
We're
I'm
doing
judging.
I'm
judging. Okay. I'm judging you. It's an interesting observation. And again, it's so easy to get caught up in that. Yeah. And I will admit, there are times when people will make posts or videos will come up or things will happen, and like instinctively I'll be like, I'll want to say something, but then sometimes I'll realize that, this actually might not be constructive, because I don't know, it's like a dormant mentality that every now and then just sort of comes out, and I look at it and go, there's no point in me saying something like that, because it's not providing anything, it's not, allowing anything, and if I'm not going to say anything that, propels this forward in any way, there's literally no reason. And it's not because, I'm like, dormantly malicious or anything, but there's just sometimes you look at stuff and you instinctively want to go, well, that was kind of dumb. But I look at it and go, well, why was it dumb? And I'll rethink it myself and be like, no, it wasn't, because this person liked doing it. And if they loved doing it, then it doesn't matter what I think. And I'll re-establish like an entire grounds of mentality.
Yeah, you'll reframe
the entire thing. And it happens actively, I think, simply because it's like some, again, dormant habit. So it's really weird for me to sort of have that pop in every now and then, thinking, maybe 10 years ago I was a little more like that. And something still sort of like sits there in the back of my mind that presents it. And I just go, no, that's silly. That's a silly thought.
I was talking to somebody earlier today about the propensity to look at things negative and focus on that.
Yeah.
And I mean, initially, really many moons ago, it was a biological function for us to survive, because we had to notice things in our environment that were, like outlier or dangerous or something. We had, like, noticing the negative was really, really necessary just for our survival as creatures. Yeah. And so it comes from a really valid place initially, but now our lives are so, we're not just looking at how to make sure we eat enough to not die and have enough warmth to not freeze. We don't just have to look at those things. Now we have like such variety in the world and in our lives to choose from and to do. We can have relationships with people across the planet. We can learn things and never have to go to that place and dig it up ourselves. Right. I mean, we have such variety now that pattern is kind of not as necessary in that way now. Yeah. Well, not kind of not as necessary. It's not as necessary. Yeah. But it doesn't mean that people aren't continuing to feed that habit, kind of like we always have. And I'll notice it sometimes when I'll listen to parents talking to little kids or something, where you know, rather than saying, you know, hold your cup tight so it stays upright. Like, don't spill that everywhere.
Right.
And the direction of the comment, I mean, it's the same thing. I don't want milk on the floor.
Right.
But the direction of the comment is either like negative and fear and chaos and catastrophe will ensue.
Yeah.
Or it's just instructive.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And or something like, well, hold on tight to the monkey bars so that you stay on the monkey bars
Right.
instead of don't fall and break your leg.
Right.
You know, it's the same thing, but it's a different message.
And that's a phenomenal sort of presentation. That is interesting because I love getting feedback. I love talking to people. I love, you know, hearing people's opinions on things, even if it's bad, because it's their opinion, it's valid, and I like hearing those kinds of things. But I love when people can articulate something in a way that makes me say, hey, that's interesting, instead of just, oh, it sucked. And it's like, that kills a conversation.
Yeah.
Because what does that mean, it sucked? Well, I just didn't like it. Okay, but why didn't you like it? Well, because it was dumb. But and it just sort of perpetuates like this spiral of,
because and if we want to subtitle that, because my habit is to dislike things.
Sure.
My pattern is to dislike. My dislike button is the one I press most.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't expect anybody to like everything. I don't like everything. No. There's lots of stuff I totally dislike. I mean, and I'll make jokes about how much I dislike beans. I hate me. Yeah, and I.
I hate beans.
I hate beans.
Do you hate beans?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's interesting. I hate them. I wish they were. I would just, you know, like, I think beans are delicious when they're in the garbage can.
You like to eat them out of the trash?
Oh, and I can't eat them. They're extra delicious when they're not in my mouth and they're in compost pile. Yeah. But you know, like in a joking manner, I think it's fun too. But I always try to tread in a spot where like I'm not going to actually make somebody feel bad about what they like. So if like somebody comes in and they ask about a game and we're talking about video games, like, oh, you know, Jaws for the NES is not very good. It's kind of silly. You just run around and shoot sharks with harpoons until you beat the game. And, you know, making light of something in a fun way, levity is good. But if someone comes in, they're like, oh, dude, I like this game. I'm like, oh, well, it sucks that you like that game, so it's for idiots. And, you know, an idiot would love that game, so I guess you're an idiot. That's cool. Here's the idiot section. Like, that might make somebody feel bad, and I don't want to do that, you know? Because I love hearing about people's distaste, because it's fantastic, and every bit of it's valid. And people can get together because of distaste and be like, well, we're the 10 people who didn't like Titanic. Okay, cool. You didn't like Titanic. It's totally fine. And you guys can do that. You know, if you're hating it just to hate it, okay, I'm sort of curious as to like what is going on, or if you're just anti-Titanic group, like that's an interesting principle. But disliking things to me is not like inherently a bad thing. And I like that people can be okay with that. But I like when people can dislike something because they say, well, based on the experience that I had in my childhood, I watched this movie and see these feelings, or I don't like this actor because, you know, and if there's a reasoning behind it, that's already a story. That's already something that, you know, takes it beyond concept and turns it into like a full-on, like, this is part of me. This has molded me. And that's fun to me. I want to know. You know, people want to know why I don't like beans. I don't really have a story, I guess. I just don't like the texture. But
the texture? Yeah.
And maybe it's because when I was little, I used to grind up snails or something and they tasted like beans. I don't know. I don't really have a story. But I also, I don't know if I talk about beans unless I'm doing it in a joking manner.
How often do you talk about beans?
A couple times a day.
Really?
I don't know. No, probably not. Only if like they're around and they get brought up.
Oh.
But yeah, you know, because I mean, I find it more interesting when people articulate about things they like. And the only reason I say that is because when people articulate upon their interests, they tend to go more into it. Whereas, again, the dislike thing, if people say they dislike something, they usually just say it sucks. And it's too hard for me to follow through on in a lot of cases because it's a shorter conversation.
Yeah.
And I like something that has more substance, and likes just tend to have that.
I think so too.
No?
Yeah, I think so too.
Want to try some Crystal Pepsi?
No. I have.
I mean, do you want to try some water?
I have some right
you
here.
You have some, exactly, Evian.
It just doesn't have 69 grams of sugar in it, but other than that, it looks identical.
What's wrong with sugar?
Nothing.
So why don't you want any?
I just don't. I just don't. I just hate it.
Just digging your own grave.
Just cause.
Just cause, yeah, 'cause it's stupid.
Just cause it's stupid, like idiots like that.
Yeah, sugars are dumb for dummies.
I guess you're dumb.
Well.
What's it like being so
dumb? Dumb, drinking such stupid drinks. It feels dumb. Tastes stupid.
Tastes stupid. Tastes stupid.
So my friend Stephanie said something On the Instagram post I had made that blew up, I had something, and unfortunately I can't see the whole thing without it being a comment either here or on Facebook, because YouTube comments during the podcast actually just don't show up properly, and it's a whole stupid thing. So if you guys can actually comment either in the event page that was made, or send me a direct text. I want to know. I want to engage. I want to talk to everybody. But
technical limitations.
Exactly. Yeah, it only shows like 2.5 or 1.5 lines on my phone, and then I can't actually go view it until later, and it's very frustrating. So if you want to get a hold of me directly, Facebook or text or the comment section on this event page.
Or you could send a letter.
You could write us a letter, and we'll get it probably in a week, and then we can address it then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't remember what we're talking about.
Neither.
That's sad. We could watch the podcast again. We could watch ourselves watching this and then address it.
That's true.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, we could do that. But it's interesting because both you and I don't really tend to talk about stuff we dislike. We talk about things that might have like had an act of like distaste in our day.
You know, I was watching before we started what you were writing, and that usually I don't know what it is that John picked for the topic for the week, and this week is no exception. In fact, I didn't even ask. I just saw the word levity and laughter.
Yeah.
And what I notice about you and me when we're talking about stuff that is not what we would want or what we would choose, we're pretty much always laughing. Pretty much always. So even when we're talking about like the dislike stuff, the thumbs down stuff, it's usually hilarious. Like I don't notice that you and I ever talk about what we dislike and feel dislike feelings.
Yeah.
It's usually like fun and really engaging to talk about that stuff just because of the way that we do it.
Like, I can't believe Justin Bieber made a new song. It's bullshit.
It's not a commiserating thing that we do.
No, it's,
And I think that has, so I mean, it's cool you picked levity, laughter, whatever. Is that, am I right?
That's exactly
what we're talking about? Yeah. That's great. That's great because I think that, you know, if you're going to have a need to point out stuff that you think sucks, it's good to have some lightness in that so that it doesn't like actually, you know, mire you down.
It makes it approachable.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it can be really tough, like when you're literally just throwing a wall in front of something.
Yeah.
You know? And to be able to discuss it and have fun with it, that makes it interesting.
What's something, can you think of anything, any examples of anything that we've talked about recently that was, the one that just keeps coming to my mind is, and this was a while back, but when you had the stuff happening with the lease at your store.
Oh yeah.
And the renting the space situation.
Yeah, there's a whole mess of things. Yeah.
And you know, I remember you joking about the fact that the person who owns it or whatever lived in some other country and just the far removed
yeah
ness of that. And I just remember I remember thinking, and it struck me, not that it's different than anything you normally do, but it was striking to me just because I am used to, just because I walk around in the world listening to people talk about things they don't like with such a disdain. And you were talking about it, you know, kind of factual, this is what's happening, whatever, and where something was kind of silly, you would interject something about it. And that's what the tone of you telling me that story was. You know what I mean? It's not like it was fun and games, but it was factual with some joking.
Sure. And again, like,
and that was a stressful
it was extremely situation. Yeah, it was actually a very difficult time for me.
The sign, okay.
Yeah, there was a whole lot going on with that, but no, it's true. And that's again sort of like my mechanism. You know, they say a lot of comedians they deal with, you know, like a lot of their stuff comes from pain and experience.
Week, and somebody was talking about Robin Williams and
yeah, it was the Rain Man from 94 Rock. Yeah, which is starstruck. I get all excited every time. He's so cool.
He faints usually when he talks about it.
Yeah, like a goat. I just flip upside down. Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Like a goat.
Yeah. You ever seen those?
Goats?
Well, you've seen a goat before? Have you heard of those?
I have heard of a goat.
They're really cool. They just released them on the market about a month ago. You can find them at any farm. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, cool.
Uh-huh.
Are they working on a new edition?
The 2017, yeah. Tesla. Yeah. Coil-powered goats.
coil powered gun.
I know, it's really cool. Technology is great.
It's great.
But also, yeah, like my stupid dude videos, you know, all those are sort of mechanisms. And so if I get to the point where I stress about something too much and I don't, it's like watching a scary movie. And if they don't interject some levity in there, something to break it up, you know, a little bit of comedic relief, something can get so heavy to the point where like I almost can't enjoy it.
Yeah.
Have you seen Requiem for a Dream?
No.
It's a phenomenal movie, and it's so deep and dark and gritty. But like because there's no humoristic aspect to it, I can't ever watch that movie again. It was absolutely worth watching, and it's totally an incredible movie. But it's so much that I simply can't ever watch that movie again because like it's too like it weighs me down.
I'm thinking of Liam Neeson.
Oh, I just showed that to a friend the other day.
He was gonna be doing some comedy.
Yeah, he walks in. And he's so dry. I gotta like provide a link after this for people to watch. It is the funniest thing. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
I watch it like a few times a week just because I love it so much. And Liam Neeson walks into this place with Ricky Gervais, is that his name?
Yeah.
And Warwick Davis and the other guy, I can't remember his name.
I can't remember his name either, but yeah.
And Liam Neeson's talking about how he wants to do some comedy, and he's terribly, terribly dark.
Yeah.
And it's really great.
100% dry. His face never.
The link.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's so good.
I love it.
Yeah, I'll post it up later because it's super good.
I love it. I was talking yesterday to this couple that they've had a lot of just conflict in their relationship lately, and a lot of fighting, and really established a pattern of, you know, some unkindness and some emotional violence going on between them.
Sure.
And yesterday, you know, we had this moment. I'm a therapist, for anybody that doesn't know that. We had this moment where, you know, they were talking about this absolutely, you know, horrendous fight that they had the day before. And it was painful, and it was searing agony for both of them. And it was frustrating. And it was one of those fights that was like, I don't know if we can do this relationship anymore. I mean, it was a big, big thing. And they're talking about it in session with me and kind of relating what it looked like, the flapping of the arms and the stomping of the feet, and they were laughing hysterically about the way that they had behaved the day before and the way that they regularly behave, and they were laughing a lot about it. And it was just this really cool moment to watch the two of them looking at each other, and it was like I wasn't in the room at that moment.
Yeah,
you know, because they were that joined on how funny it was. This is what you looked like, and that's what I looked like, and they were having fun talking about their nightmare. You know what I'm saying?
Oh wow, that's great.
And it was a beautiful, beautiful moment. And I think that, I mean, I look at that and I'm like, see, that's your relationship. Yeah. That's where you are. Yeah. That's what's really happening here,
right?
If you'll let it be.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was cool.
That's cool. It's really nice to sort of like get down past, you know, to dig down past all like the crap that's built up and be like, this is the core that's been established. This is where you guys truly are. This is how much you truly love each other. Yeah. Yeah. It's great to be to that point with people. That's amazing. That makes me happy to hear.
It was cool. It was really cool.
There's nothing I think better to me than watching two people just getting along so well that you can't ever question their fondness of each other.
Or the respect that they have for one another.
Yeah. It's great. It's beautiful. And, you know, like last week I talked about the concept of having crushes on friends. Friends that I just want to be around, friends that make me feel happy to be around, male or female, you know, and fully platonic. Yeah. Asexual, yeah. It's just totally, I just want to be around certain people so badly. I crave it. I seek it, you know? And it's a great feeling to have people like that in my life. And, you know, that kind of friendship, it's, you know, I mean, I hate hanging out with you because you bring me down. But like with other people, it's really great.
I hate hanging out with you. Are you having comments?
Toaster says lost camera feed audio is fine, but I'm not sure. Is it still going on? Are we? Like it is. I mean, it's fine for us, but of course, I can't tell on the other side of things. So.
Let us know if you heard us ask that. If it's.
Yeah, if everything's still good, you know, as things continue to go, because it seems fine on this end, but I can't fully tell. Yeah. Let's see. It's better now. Okay, good.
Okay.
All right. Look at that.
Hey.
This is technology. Hey.
Technology. It's cool. And you know what's neat is that.
Hey.
Hey. Hey.
Why?
Why? Did she say why?
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Cleared up about 20 seconds before you read. Unsure how much lag there is. I think it's about 20 seconds, actually, from when we do this to when people see it. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. So, okay.
I forget.
I forget, too. Every day.
I forget things all the time.
Do you? I do.
I do.
I forget everything all the time.
That's actually something that I laugh about a lot. That's probably very disheartening and might indicate something medically
Right. Yeah,
worrisome. But to me, it's kind of hilarious. Like, I don't remember a lot of, like, most things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, most things.
I forget a lot of things all the time. Is it just like...
And I don't mean to, and I never mean to offend anybody, but there are definitely times where...
Do people mean to forget things?
Yeah. Yeah, to hurt each other.
Oh, okay, I see. I remembered to forget, to spite
hurt,
you.
Yeah, to hurt somebody.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because it's very emotionally damaging, and it keeps you in control.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
Of the relationship.
Yeah, that makes sense.
To keep the other person in pain.
Okay, to keep them in pain. I love that.
But no, where somebody will ask me, like, remember I told you that? And I'm like, no, and it's not because I don't love you or listen to you. It's because there's something wrong with between my ears.
Yes.
There's something
all the time. I do it constantly. Also, speaking of that,
you do.
I forget everything.
You actually have a tendency. Yeah, you do. You forget important things sometimes.
I do. Yeah. So speaking of that, I'm gonna go grab something from my bedroom real quick to put on the counter. Otherwise, I will forget it, and it's something I've forgotten for a customer for the past week. So,
really?
But I just remembered it now that we're talking about this.
Okay, go.
So I'll be right back.
Go, John.
It's an Atari.
An Atari?
Yeah.
Whoa. I had an Atari when I was a kid. I played Frogger. The Smurfs game. If anybody remembers the Smurfs game, let me know, where you would just walk along and hop over the fence, and eventually you got to a place where you hopped onto a skull or something, and then the game was over. It was really pretty neat. And then I remember playing... That's kind of all I remember playing. But I know I loved it. My Atari. I wonder where that went. I don't know. I had an Atari. Did I ever tell you that?
Yeah, because I used to look up the Smurfs game. I think it was the one thing I remember.
I was just talking about that. The Smurfs game.
There it is. So you need to put this on the counter, otherwise I'll forget tomorrow.
Cool. Do you have the Smurfs game and an old Atari that I could...
I don't, but I can get...
Could you get me the Smurfs game?
I'll figure it out, yeah.
Cool.
We'll do something. Relive the memory.
Yay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
Larry. That's nice of you that you remembered that.
It's really cool of me.
It is really cool of you. You're a lot cooler now than you were 10 minutes ago.
I'm pretty cool now.
Yeah.
Larry. I have
Larry.
some trail mix. I'll have Larry say hi real quick.
Yes, this is Larry.
Look at him.
I know.
He's my favorite. Okay. All right, buddy. See you soon.
He's good for levity.
He's vital. I think he's actually the reason I keep him around. The reason I haven't shot him yet is that cat. He's a constant reminder of love, because Larry is just pure love. To me, he embodies.
He's funny.
The affection. He jumps up onto my chest. He purrs. He headbutts me, and I just think, like, this is what I aspire to be for others. Is I want to make people feel the way that Larry makes me feel.
He is hilarious.
He is.
He cracks me up.
Hi, Larry. Us.
Oh, that's so clever. That's so good.
Why are you being like this?
What? Complimentary?
Backhandedly, yeah.
Why can't you accept a compliment? It's loving. I'm being loving. I'm being complimentary.
Do you enjoy people watching? If so, what types of places do you find the most interesting and why? Or people observing may sound more appropriate. Either way. At first I thought it was people like watching. Like, do you like people watching you? Do you like when people watch? People watch us?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do.
I do too. But actually, in people watching, I love it. So when I went to LA like 2 years ago to go to E3, I didn't have a car. I didn't rent one. I just was staying with some friends, and I took an Uber. My first time taking Uber from their place to the convention center. And I remember getting addicted to Uber because all I wanted to do was meet the people that drove, because they were just people that I'd never met before.
Huh.
And you sit down in the car with them, and you talk, and they've got their story, and I've got my story, and we just exchange for 15 minutes, And that was it. And it was unbelievable. And I got so addicted to just wanting to meet people.
Yeah.
I came back here and I wanted to be an Uber driver, but my car was too old.
That would be a fun job.
I think so.
I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would love it.
So what are your favorite places to go people watch?
My store is one of my favorites because it's an environment that I'm familiar with. So to it's like if I worked at the zoo and I watched people come to the zoo and how they reacted to animals or situations, I think that'd be really neat. But watching people react to like something that I'm entirely aware of is really fun. Because there's some people who are seasoned, who've been doing this for a long time, some people who haven't done it for 30 years, there's some people who are brand new to it, and it's great to see just all the different reactions and responses to everything in the shop. I love it.
That's cool.
Sometimes they only focus on the cat, sometimes they only focus on the toys, sometimes they only focus on the old things, sometimes they only focus on, like the bumper stickers or merchandise. It's interesting to see everybody's unique take on exactly what we do. My favorite thing in the world is seeing that two people can observe the exact same game and have completely separate ideas and expressions, and I think that's so much fun.
Yeah.
What about you?
My favorite place to people watch? I like the gym.
The gym's interesting.
I like watching people at the gym because you get a whole array of the way that people are looking at themselves, looking at each other. That one is probably my favorite.
The gym is interesting.
That's one of my favorites. One of my favorites. I love watching people when they're like.
Check it out.
That's my favorite.
What's interesting about that too is at first I didn't want to be that guy, right? Go to the gym, I was, but at the same time I looked at it ultimately. I said, I'm here to make progress. I want to feel good about the progress I'm making. So I look in the mirror and I'm like, I feel good about that. That's really cool. And once I realized that, I was like, everybody else, you just do it too.
Yeah.
Take pictures of yourself, take gym selfies, do the whole thing, because
I love watching people do that.
If you're there to do it for the better of you, whatever reason it is, why not? And anybody else who gets upset at it, don't worry about it.
Have you ever had anybody tell you, I was watching you just then and you're like, oh, wow, that was not a high self-monitored moment for me. Have you ever had that happen? Yeah? I want to hear it.
No.
Okay.
I
really do. I really want to hear.
What do you have like an example of something that ever happened to you or that like you found to be interesting?
No, because I never do anything embarrassing. Sometimes, I mean, just to take really kind of benign examples, like when you go to drink something and you pour it all over yourself or something like that. You know what I mean? That's a really boring kind of benign example.
One of my favorites that's like along those lines is you have something with a straw and you just miss the straw completely.
Yeah.
I think that's funny.
Or when I'm like talking, I'm gonna drink and I'm like, oh shit. Because I didn't open it. That actually makes me laugh. I've had people watch me and laugh at stuff that I do sometimes.
I was singing some Ace of Base in the car the other day. I was going crazy. And my window was slightly down, and I was at a stoplight, and this girl and her mom were in the car next to me, and they looked over, and they started like cheering because they saw me like just going.
Yeah.
Well, they heard me too.
What were you singing?
Waiting for Magic, like 9-inch remix or whatever.
Cool.
It's my favorite Ace of Base song. Yeah.
Cool.
Kiss me, baby, I'm attractive, baby, get to know me, show who you are. You know that one?
Keep going.
Give me that music, baby, I'm a eternal lion in a coffin waiting for you. In your dreams, a girl is dancing close to you. That girl is me. That's my synthesized voice.
That's awesome.
Pretty good, huh?
I love it.
Thanks. My favorite Ace of Base song.
You're welcome.
I love that album. But, and there were times, when I was younger as well, too, that I was sort of like embarrassed. I usually don't get like embarrassed, but I kind of think that like, I don't really want people to see me doing this. And now, like, I just, unmistakably, I want people to be like, that dude is having the time of his life.
Yeah.
Because whenever I see anybody else doing that, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
To me, something else I was thinking about as well, too, in recent days was, So I talked about like the friend crush and, you know, people that I want to be around. You know, the people that I want to be around are the people that take what they love and they love it so hard and so loud and so viciously that I can't not be attracted to that. You know, when people just they love art, or they love video games, or they love cars.
So whether or not you're interested in it, it's the passion itself.
I love that they love it. That's so attractive to me.
Yeah.
From a person, somebody, cool. And I could talk to them and be like, hey, so what about this? And they would go on and on and on, and they would articulate, and they would just tell me everything I need to know about it.
You know what I think about that? So you know that I don't know much about video games, and I'm not into video games. But something I am into is listening to you talk about them. Because when you talk about them, you're not telling me the mechanics or the press A and this happens or whatever. You don't tell me that stuff. You're talking to me about what it means to you or what it reminded you of, or you know what I'm saying? Like I remember when you showed me the Batman thing, for example.
Oh, right, yeah.
You know? And the different emotions and the different sensations that you would have about it and what was striking and what surprised you. And, you know, we've had a lot of conversations about video games that were actually about human dynamics.
Yeah.
And usually when you talk about video games, to me anyway, that's what you talk about.
Yeah, it's like the catalyst for an experience. It's not the video game.
Right.
Or like if you go and watch the movie Rocky, it's not a movie about boxing. It's a movie about a boxer and he's living his life.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, and you're getting to learn about people and how they react to situations and what life means for them. But he boxes.
So it doesn't surprise me that like the passion of something is really what attracts you, because you know, any way you slice it, passion really does have to do with what ignites, what makes a person feel alive. And that's always interesting.
Oh, it's great.
I think that's always fascinating.
To think of somebody just being into something, literally no matter what it is. Back in high school, I was in a communication skills class, and we had this one kid, and everybody's going around the room talking about what they wanted to be when they grew up, you know, because growing up, we were 16, 17 years old.
Well, that's the question you're supposed to answer.
Right?
That's the one they all ask you.
And so, and I remember, you know, thinking, well, I want a cool job, because why wouldn't I want a cool job? And, you know, work at Nintendo or work for a video game or do animation or something. And one kid was like, I want to be a farmer. And I remember at the time thinking, why? Why would anybody want to do that? Because I wasn't aware of the fact that, you know, people have different goals. It was like, if you don't like what I like, well, screw you.
Yeah. And
now, 15 years later, God, is it 20 years later? Oh my God, I don't know. It's a wild.
30. Oh, John's birthday was on Sunday.
It was, 35 years old.
35. 35.
I don't look a day over 34.
Nope.
That's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
But anyway, he said like this thing about wanting to be a farmer, and at the time I thought, that doesn't make any sense. Why would you want to do that? You know, that seems so boring. But thinking about that now, I think somebody who wants to do that, and somebody who wants to get into that lifestyle, and somebody who would embrace that fully and take on the unbelievable amounts of responsibility that would entail, that's amazing to me.
Yeah.
I would love to learn about farming because I don't know anything about it. Therefore, I want to. It's a brand new world to me, you know?
That's really cool.
I know what a cow is. I know how to feed chickens, you know, shit on the ground or whatever.
Well, you just taught me what a goat is.
Yeah, well, I mean, those are brand new, though, so, yeah. I was reading all, like, the pre-release, you know, press stuff.
Yeah.
And that was really cool.
It's like state-of-the-art, new animal kingdom.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you guys wanted the new species? Here it comes.
Right.
You know, you asked for it. We delivered. Tesla, ahead of the curve or whatever. I don't know what their slogan is. But yeah, it was really cool, like, for me to go back and think about, it doesn't matter what I thought, because this kid wanted that, and if he wants that and still wants it, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And if he achieved that goal, that's even cooler. And if I went up to him, he's the authority on that and not me, and I could get tons of information that I never had because this dude has it. And I love that.
Do video games ever, they pull out really strong emotions from you sometimes, right?
They can, like, absolutely.
Have you wept at a game?
Yeah, I actually remember the very first game I wept at. And it was a game called Super Metroid for the Super Nintendo, 1994. And actually 93 was when it came out, 94 was when I beat it. So
sorry, these are the details that when you talk about video games, I'm all blah blah blah.
Right, I know. 1993, Michelle. God, that was a totally different year. Don't be
know.
So dumb. It was a full year before.
I want to hear about the weeping.
And it was cool is because games at the time were not as strong on emphasizing a narrative. And because most games are basically, you know, what's your objective? Meet the objective. Is it kill the bad guy? Okay, go kill the bad guy. You know, Galaga, you just shoot the things until they're gone. That's the objective. But in this one, like, there was a story, and it's only told in words at the very beginning of the game as like a preface to the actual game. So the entire game is acted out completely silently in the regard that there's no dialogue because you're the only single character on this planet interacting with everything around you. And they establish a character, they establish a relationship with something else, and towards the end of the game, your relationship with this thing grows and ultimately almost betrays you, and you freak out. And then this thing that you think almost betrays you ends up saving your life and dying. And I remember at the time as a kid, I was so upset that it visibly brought me to tears. It was amazing,
That's
amazing
cool.
experience.
Okay, so talking about the Smurfs Atari thing.
Yeah.
That was a game where literally you just walked and jumped over fences.
Yeah.
Boing.
Right, yeah.
Boing, walk over. It was highly uninteresting. But what was fascinating about it to me was that it was a love story. It was like Smurfette, him getting to Smurfette.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And at the end they kissed.
Oh,
so
good.
for me, when I was a kid, it wasn't the jumping over fences that I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
It was this grown-up thing that only grown-up people
It's a very
did.
esoteric concept.
Yeah,
Yes,
like
Smurfs falling.
so it was that. I mean, it was the meaning of that was like, you know what I'm saying? That's my contribution to talking about video games.
Okay, that's cool though,
That's
because
what I got for you.
even if that's like the extent of it, that's cool. That's valid.
Well, that's what it meant to me. you
Yeah.
know? And that's kind of what I think when you're talking about loving passion, loving hearing passion in people. Really, you're learning about what makes you feel alive in life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right. So Kellen says, speaking of dislikes, I actually, I really like talking about dislikes with food because I think it's a lot less obtrusive to somebody's sensibilities.
Yeah.
If you're like, oh, that movie sucked, it's like, well, what's wrong with my taste in movies? But if you're talking about food, that's so arbitrary that I don't think it's usually harmful, and I like hearing about this kind of stuff. Yeah. Speaking of dislikes, I highly dislike Swedish Fish Oreos. Have you tried? That being said, is there an encounter you were looking forward to but ultimately let down by? Of course there is, but one that speaks louder than others.
I've never tried them.
The Oreo Swedish Fish? I think they just hit the market, which is really funny that Oreo is like a very experimental company. They used to just be like, Oreo and then double stuff and then
Swedish Fish?
So like the inside filling is like Swedish Fish flavored and those are like the gummies, right?
Oh yeah, that's weird.
It's very weird. I mean, because they do, pumpkin and lemon and like sunflower, or they have like a billion different flavors. They released cookies and cream Oreo.
I saw that.
I was like, what the hell?
I saw that.
Extremely meta.
Yeah.
Very impressive though.
The birthday cake ones were really good.
Birthday cake is good.
Those were so good. I haven't seen those very many places.
Walmart and Smith's, I think, are the only two I really ever see them around. Yeah, so Swedish Fish, I have not tried those. I'm curious. I will always try any different flavor of Oreo
What
just
were
to
those
see.
cookies that you had out there?
They're just, my friend Sean bought those for me for my birthday. Their chocolate chip was just like cream in the middle. They're very good. They're very sweet though. They're like one a day.
Overwhelming.
They're pretty overwhelming. Has there been an encounter you were looking forward to but would ultimately let down by? Yeah, inevitably, yes. But I want to hear yours. Maybe anything, a comic, a movie. A lot of people probably cite the Deadpool movie. Or not the Deadpool movie, I'm sorry.
A lot of people say
the older X-Men Origins Wolverine with the old Deadpool, the old Ryan Reynolds experience.
I heard a lot of people talk about the new Deadpool,
I loved it. Really?
Yeah. Jungle Book, I heard.
I love that too.
I did too. I love the Jungle Book. I didn't see the new Deadpool movie.
I have to strike you. Yeah, exactly.
You startled me.
Yeah. Oh, I have it sometime if you ever want to watch it.
Put on the Mega Man thing on your head.
Is it?
You're gonna wait. First of all,
I'm blocked. All right. Yes.
Let's hype this up, and then people can be let down by.
No one's gonna be let down by this.
Put it up.
See?
No, maybe you should put in the whole costume where you actually like.
The whole costume is just me taking off my shirt and putting it on. Because from the chest down, there's nothing.
Can you do that? Just cause.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
So, well, I'm getting off camera for this, so that way I can arrive.
Yeah, and the mirror can't see you, so. This is gonna be great.
It's pretty great. Okay. Hold on.
Cool.
This is tricky because like these little things have to go to the side.
Do you need help?
Nothing. I got it. I don't want my ear to get crumpled.
Crumpled?
Yeah.
You don't want to get cauliflower ear from wearing that?
No. I need my glasses, otherwise I can't see. How do I look?
You're pretty great.
Okay. All right.
All right, John's gonna teach. Yay! I like it.
Thanks.
I actually haven't seen this. Is it this one, the newest one?
This one right up here, the tentacle,
Yeah,
is the
I
newest
haven't
one.
seen that.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Cool.
My tentacle.
Bueno.
Thank you.
I like it.
I like it too.
Okay.
I felt bad to get.
So a letdown experience.
Yeah, like a movie or even a food. I mean, food's usually like is pretty easy to sort of pass over if it's not too. I mean, if you're gonna go pay go to like the Macaroni Grill or Cheesecake Factory,
Yeah.
those really expensive places, that could like be kind of a jarring
The
experience.
worst is when you go somewhere to eat something really good and you end up with like terrible pain or like food
Ooh,
poisoning afterwards.
Yeah,
That is the ultimate.
that mars everything.
Ultimate
Yeah.
food letdown.
Yeah.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah.
And then you can't eat there for years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It actually changes the experience
have you
entirely.
ever had that happen where like,
Yeah.
one of your favorite foods you can't touch it for years?
Yeah, I have. I hate that.
Because something happened or it was associated with something.
I have. I don't like that. I did actually had a bad experience with them. I wasn't really let down, I guess. This is sour cream and onion potato chips. But I was a kid and I was eating them in the car while we were driving back from like some Bible camp. And my parents picked me up and I was playing my Game Boy, Snake, Rattle, and Roll, or Sneaky Snakes on the Game Boy. And I was eating these potato chips the entire time. I started getting sick and I was like, Dad, pull over. So he did, and I started throwing up all over the place. It came out my nose, and so the rest of the car ride back smelled like sour cream and onion potato chips and vomit in my nose. Yeah, and so for like 10 years I couldn't eat them because like it was too much. The association was too strong. That was bad.
Let's see. A letdown that I did have, I remember, was the first time I went to Vegas. Have you been to Las Vegas?
I have.
Yeah.
I went, like,
and you don't drink, or?
No, yeah, my experience is very limited when it comes to like what Vegas entails.
I was 1,000% sober.
Yeah.
And I had all these, and I had people telling me, no, you don't have to drink because there's so much to see and so much to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it really seemed to me when I was there with my friends, like, no, you're pretty much having a good time because you're drunk.
If you're drunk or smoking or something or gambling.
But it was a letdown because everybody I was with was wasted. So here I am in this kind of interesting place, but they're being like ridiculous, belligerent.
Yeah.
So that was definitely a letdown for me.
Yeah, sure.
Because it had been talked up like, no, it's so fascinating because of this, which maybe it would have been.
Yeah.
But it was now in hindsight probably really common sense that don't go to Vegas where you have to follow around a bunch of drunk people if you're sober and you just want to see.
Yeah, I was with like 3 or 4 other sober friends, so like we were having a good time. Everybody's fully cognizant. But yeah, if I was just with a bunch of drunk people, I'd be like, "This is the worst thing ever." Yeah,
it was a letdown.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah.
I had one with a video game. I usually don't set myself up for disappointment with games. I go into them with a very open mind. And ultimately, my thought with it is, will this genuinely impact my life in a negative way? If not, then it's irrelevant. And because video games are just video games, like if I had never even heard of this game or never played it again, would my life be impacted negatively? And no. So, but there was one that was like number 13 in a series of games that I've liked almost universally since 1990. And one of them came out and I was so excited and I played for like an hour and a half and I was like, I just don't care. I'm not attached to characters or story or music or anything. And I tried and tried and tried. I put 10, 15 hours into this later and just felt like, wow, I've never not cared about a game so much in my life. And that was distressing because, coming from a legacy series, that sucked. But,
that does sound like it sucks.
Or, it happens with movies sometimes too. But again, ultimately, I think, well, life goes on. Like, it didn't actually like make me feel worse about myself. It didn't destroy me financially. I'm good. Like, I'll just pretend I didn't see it. But then he also prompts a personal encounter with a person.
I'm having an experience right now where I'm hearing from somebody I haven't talked to in a while who I don't really know why he contacts me because he's usually let down.
Oh, he's let down by you?
Yeah.
Is it the DEA?
Yeah.
Is all you're doing coke again? I hope not. And you're like, yeah.
And I'm like, yeah.
Yep. Once again.
I had it together, but then I did coke.
Yeah.
Again.
I ate a bunch of coke.
Yeah,
off
and
of
the DEA calls me to see if I'm sober.
During the podcast. Yeah.
The DEA checks up on me to make sure I'm good from time to time.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, but this dude, he'll contact me maybe once a month or so.
Okay.
And he's somebody that about a year ago, I was going to like some focus groups and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That he ran. And, it was interesting. I was having a good time at first, but then I started to feel like, whoa, this is very, I'm going to use this word, even though it's probably too strong of a word, kind of cultish. Like it was very like manipulative in a way, sort of, kind of.
Sure.
So I quit going to those. I was like, whoa, that's kind of weird. It's not exactly, I didn't feel good while I was there.
Yeah.
And so he'll message me every month and ask me pretty much the same thing, which is, I miss you. Why didn't you keep coming? And it's been like 12 months in a row. And I'm kind of like the same reason when you asked last month.
After a year,
the same reason you asked last
month.
Think. And so he's like, it's almost like he's enlisting to, and then he gets upset. So he's like, I want to feel let down. I haven't felt let down in a few weeks.
Sort of setting himself up
let
for
me
it.
just talk to Michelle because she
never, exactly. She'll disappoint me
because
every
she'll
time.
Disappoint me every time. It's like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
But have you like met somebody that like you were really excited to meet, and it turns out you're like, oh,
yes,
that's too bad. Who?
Where everybody's like, you're gonna love this dude. He's hilarious.
Yeah.
This person, you're gonna like him so much, and then you're like, whoa, I can't stand that person actually. And I'm the only one here who seems to have that response.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've had that experience before.
With whom?
I can't remember. Probably you. Just you.
That makes sense. So I just disappoint you for 25 years. I've been disappointing you.
Yeah, every time I've seen you for the last 25 years,
mm-hmm.
I have felt worse, and I have to, undisappoint myself
by doing coke, and that prompts the DEA, who you disappoint in turn. This is the cycle.
You're right. I didn't even see it until now. I didn't even realize I was feeding this monster.
I'm sorry. I'm feeding it too indirectly. That sucks.
Oh, man.
All right.
I can't think of it particularly. I'm having a hard time thinking of details right now. And probably it's because, like we were saying earlier, my memory sucks.
Yeah,
I have a really not impressive memory. So these things have all happened to me. Yes, absolutely. And probably numerous examples. But
mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm like blank, like I have dementia or something.
You do.
Do I?
Yeah.
Have you been thinking that for a while?
Mm-hmm. I manifested it for you.
What are some of the things? Thank you. What are some of the things? What are some of the things that I do that indicate to you that I have dementia?
Make me mad.
Okay.
I'm embarrassed to be seen with you.
That's a symptom.
Yeah. I don't want to be seen with someone with dementia. Okay. It falls under embarrassment, I was gonna say, but like the stench is overwhelming usually.
It smells horrible.
You smell, like you're rotting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you just like let an open wound like underneath like your armpit, like just you never tended to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so now whenever I go to the bank with you, like they're like, what are you?
The bank.
Yeah. I'm like, I just take my I'm trying to make a deposit.
She has dementia.
Yeah, exactly. She has dementia, don't worry. Yeah, don't worry about it. And I try to like, just shield my eyes.
Yeah.
I'm getting cold, by the way.
Okay. Do you want me to do something about that?
Yeah.
What?
Can we put on the fire?
What do you want me to start on fire?
Whatever. Just there's a bookshelf over there. Paper burns very easily.
Let's just start your house on fire.
Okay.
That'll make you warmer. Just put
for a little bit.
You know what? Might be also another remedy. You could put your clothes back on. You could put your shirt back on.
The helmet's on though.
That's right. You're never going to be able to put
I can't put your shirt back on ever again. All right, I'll see what I can do. I'm going to take the helmet off. People are going to know who I am now.
I have to pee.
You have to pee?
Yes, I do.
All right. Go do that.
I need that. I'm going to break your painting on accident, but I'm going to do it in a minute here.
Okay. All right. The helmet's off. Truth revealed. I'll keep people entertained, hopefully. Okay. Thank you guys. Let me. Sorry, the show took a turn, but it's it's a good evening. It's just a night. Excuse me, filled with Crystal Pepsi flavored burps. Those are invisible burps, by the way, and that's really cool. Those are interactive burps. There we go. I feel much better. How do they look? Wow. Okay. No, it's been a good week, and it's been last week was kind of difficult. If you guys tuned in, you know that I had an interesting sort of text message from an ex that sort of threw things off a little bit, but I addressed it. I felt angry. I put it out there, and it's already began to manifest itself in a much better way by me healing, by me sort of persevering and pushing forward. And that's been really, really nice. So now that is being recovered from, life is good. Working on the stores. We relaunched the website. It's been just a whole bunch of really good stuff. Did you pee? Or did you poop?
I peed. I need you to move.
You didn't poop?
Nope. I did not.
Ever?
Never.
No. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I don't want to be let down.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I've been hyping it up for all these years.
Yeah, and I'm just afraid that it's not going to be as great as you've talked about it.
I promise you.
You promise?
I promise you. Yeah, it's actually.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's that good.
It's that good.
All right.
It's that good. No, what I really like right now, just sort of this evening, and like having a fun time with the Mega Man helmet and being sort of silly is, again, being in a spot where humor and silliness it sort of just bubbles forth because you're in a good mood.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I love that feeling.
How was your day today?
It was good. It was great. As a matter of fact.
How was Sunday? I actually didn't even.
You texted me, so
I did.
Yeah, it sucked when you did that, but otherwise it was really good.
Did I ruin your birthday?
You did. I was like, sweet, Michelle doesn't talk to me at all today. Finally.
Finally. 6 days of not hearing from Michelle.
Yeah, this is great.
This is finally today. She's not.
No, it was nice.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly.
What'd you do?
Almost nothing. So I woke up. I slept in. I slept till 11 o'clock.
You didn't do like a dinner with your family or something?
No, because my sister's birthday is next month on the 14th, and she couldn't make it down this weekend. We figured we're actually going to do like a family dual birthday in like the next couple weeks. So that's just going to be easier for us to do. But I chilled out. I woke up late. I tidied a tiny bit. I just want to get a couple things off the ground here and there. I got on the couch. I watched some Netflix. My mom stopped by and she brought me my birthday presents, which were this Pikachu t-shirt and this new pair of shorts, which looks exactly like all my other pairs of shorts.
Yay.
I like that, actually. I walked into work today and I was just thinking, nobody would ever know that these are brand new because they look 100% like every other pair of shorts that I own.
Yeah, they kind of do.
And I'm cool with that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's my style.
This I did notice, though.
Yeah.
It's very, like, fresh, like it hasn't been washed a lot.
Right, exactly. So nice and fresh. And I got that from my mom.
Cool.
Chilled out. My friend Megan came into town. One of my really, really good friends. I met her last year. And we went out to Raisin Shrimp and got some dinner. She ordered me some frog legs, which I'd never had before. Very interesting, by the way. Yeah. My first time eating frog legs. It's like a lighter, fresher chicken with less taste, but like a good consistency. It's interesting. It's almost like a cross between, it was like fishy chicken, but without a fishy taste. Because it was really it was very tender.
Fishy chicken.
Yeah, it's really strange.
Without a fishy taste.
Yeah, it was mostly just more tender. Like it broke apart more easily than chicken.
Okay.
And it tasted just lighter. It was like a lighter meat.
I'd have to try them.
Yeah, they're interesting. Like, I don't know that I would actively order them, but I would eat them if they were there. But I just like my shrimp and all my other nonsense. We came back to the house. We played some video games. We just chilled, just talked for a bit, and then went to bed. It was just a good evening. Like, just hanging out, just doing nothing. And actually, as I get older, I realize that on my birthday, I like doing less and less. And it was nice, not because I don't want to socialize, but because I tend to socialize all the time outside of that. Having a day off means I want to sort of actively regain the balance of like literally not answering to anything or anybody. Because even on days off, it's very easy for me to get text about, hey, what about this at the store? or this obligation or that obligation. And, you know, I mean, that's my duty, it's my responsibility. But it was really cool. Actually, for a couple reasons, is my employees texted me that evening. They were like, hey, I can't wait for you to come in the shop because we spent so much time cleaning up this place. And when I walked in, it was so spotless and so immaculate, and it looked better than it ever has in my life. I was like, these guys are the damn best.
The East Side?
Yep.
Cool.
It was really, really nice to know that these guys have got my back just perpetually. They're
That's awesome.
Really good, and it's a blessing.
You've been saying a lot of good things about them lately.
They're wonderful. They're everything to me right now. So, yeah, it's one of those things where I feel like I'm creating some extremely competent leaders, you know, and they're really well on their way.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's very great because like they take initiative, they make a lot of decisions that I look at it and go, yeah, I would have done that, or I would have done it a different way, but you did it in a way that's just as good, and it's your way. There's nothing wrong with it.
Cool.
And that's even more exciting to me.
It's liberating, no?
Yeah. Oh, it is. It very much is, and they do a great job. So I love having them around, and they're just getting better and better every single time. Yeah.
Sweet.
But it's good. So. Yeah, nice and relaxing and calm and easy, and just it's a good day. Nice day. Chill out, drink some Crystal Pepsi.
I am having fun just like shooting the silly breeze.
It's nice.
Tonight.
Yeah. And we can answer lighthearted. We can answer literally anything.
Yeah, whatever.
But
yeah,
it is fun just to sort of, you know, to take a nice relaxed week. And
last week one of us had mentioned one of these weeks we should just be here and talk and just be us. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's fun. That's you know, kind of what we're doing.
I mean, it's what we always do, but
yeah.
I don't know. There's something to be said for when you don't have an objective.
It is kind of nice, very free form.
Specific aim or agenda, and you just kind of.
Because I mean, that's what we do when we go and like hang out anyway.
Yeah.
Like if I just go to your house and we just talk.
Are we going to Walmart tonight?
Yes.
For what?
I gotta grab some cat food.
I need to get a new toothbrush. What? What, John? What?
I don't often get disappointed in people.
Okay. I'm ready for it. Tell me.
But it's incredible
how much I disappoint you.
How often.
What a huge disappointment I am to your life.
Yeah. Like, I was like, what's really cool about Michelle is she's never not had a toothbrush. This is so great. Like, this is one of my favorite things about this woman.
What?
Don't what me.
She's never not had a toothbrush. It's like the coolest thing.
Yeah, that's great. Like, you know the Boy Scouts motto, right?
Nope.
You're not a Boy Scout?
No, I'm not a Boy Scout. I'm an Eagle Scout, dumbass.
Oh, right. Okay, what's the Eagle Scouts motto? I'm not a Boy Scout. Yeah, that's what they say. Yeah. No, the Scouts motto is be prepared.
Cool.
It actually is kind of cool because it's literally whatever comes up, have a plan, you know? Or make do with what you have. It's kind of like the Roosevelt quote, do what you can with what you have where you are.
Which is incidentally on the sign at the storage
I love it.
Unit right now.
I saw that the other day when I was driving home.
Yeah.
I love that.
John and I live really close, like right by each other. And there's a street that maybe about 5 minutes from our place that they always have. It's a storage unit place, and they always have quotes up on their sign, and they're usually really like beautiful and profound. And yeah, that one's up there right now.
It's a lot of Eleanor Roosevelt quotes are usually up there, and this one is a Theodore Roosevelt.
Must be like major Roosevelt fans, whoever owns that place.
Who isn't? Those guys are great. Yep.
You'll never be let down.
I know exactly. Yeah, those people don't let me down. If I met Theo, good old Teddy, yeah, like
good old Teddy.
Yeah, him and I we'd go grab a drink, and we'd have quotes, and it'd be very good. He's a great dude.
He is a nice guy.
He's really he always returns like the stuff I lend to him.
He's a really good date.
He actually is.
Right?
Like the date of his birth was one of the best dates.
I think so too.
Yeah. I think about how.
Yeah, he did a really good job with that date.
Yeah, exactly. Every year. Until he died, and then he stopped doing it. And I was disappointed in him.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, I waited, he never came. That's what happened.
Oh man, that's like kind of tragic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh shoot! I know. I love this. This is just idle chat. No, actually, I was thinking of something. We're talking about Roosevelt, or talking about I don't know presidency or expect. We were talking about something. And I actually thought of something with genuine substance to it, and now I'm trying to remember what it was.
Like quotes, like the "Do you can with what you have in whatever you're just at."
Yeah, yeah, that one. To quote, yeah. To quote the dementia chick. I'm trying to remember. I thought of something that actually seemed pretty good, and now I can't remember what it was. But
I don't feel like I'm very helpful or contributory tonight in terms of substance. I don't have a lot going on in my.
And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I'll introduce a concept, and then we can elaborate, or we can just talk about whatever. And maybe we'll cut it short if not much else is going on, or if anybody doesn't have anything specific.
Yeah.
But we'll just chat for a little bit longer.
Some weeks are calmer than others.
Yeah, that's kind of nice. It's actually really cool to just chill out. What was it? From what you said before, going into this not having an agenda, not having an objective, not having, I don't know.
Just the free form?
It is. That's nice. It's nice just to be able to chat and sort of share it with people. Because not everything we say is poignant. Sometimes just us being insulting to each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's kind of cool.
Insulting each other?
Yeah. It's extremely cool.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Keeps you in check. That's what I do with my cats a lot. Is
you do.
Like I insult my cats frequently.
And specifically with Revolver, I notice you threaten to kill her the most.
A lot. I don't ever threaten to kill Larry. Yeah, I'm gonna shoot Revolver one of these days. With what? Like a rifle?
Like a rifle?
Yeah, a hunting rifle. Yeah, exactly. From 1 foot away.
Point blank.
Yeah.
Shoot my favorite cat.
Hunt my cat in my own living room. Yeah, with less than 2 feet between us.
She would just sit there looking at you, all sweet, with her perfect face.
That is a facade. That cat. What I love about her is because
it's not a facade. It's not a facade.
She communicates.
For real, she is the most communicative cat I think I've ever met. And she straight up, she loves you and she wants attention, but she doesn't care how you feel.
That's true.
Or what you think.
That's true.
Of anything. She wields respect. She's just rad.
She's so interesting. I walked out this morning, and if she's ever guilty of something, like she knows, she straight up knows. You know how a dog will do it, and like they'll sort of like they'll tuck your ears down, and like they'll sort of like saunter away. And Revolver does the same thing. So like I'll walk out, and she'll like look from behind the couch, and she'll stare at me like with big eyes, and I'll be like Revolver, and she'll she'll sort of like tuck back, and if I approach, she'll go and run behind the curtain and just stand there and just stare at me. Completely unwavering, because she knows she's done something.
What does she do?
I usually poops her peas downstairs, which has been alleviated at this point.
It was much better when I walked into.
I'm working on cleaning it because I haven't allowed them down there in like 2 weeks, and so I got some apple cider vinegar.
Yeah. So what are they? What are they doing? Are they actually using their?
It's prominently used a litter box. One of them has still like once a week. There's still been like a poop on the stairs, so it's only happened twice. But I'm trying to sort of like really push them to go in their freaking litter boxes they have set out for all 4 of them. God. No, it's coming along really well. And it is great how much she loves attention. She loves people. She loves me. And I find it to be extremely adorable.
I like her eye color.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
I like
gorgeous cat. But I read actually somewhere about.
And I like how her body is like huge.
She's a big cat.
She's a big cat.
Did you see the one in New York? There's like a big Mancoon, very much like Larry, but he's like 28 pounds.
I want a Mancoon.
Oh, he's massive. He's literally like a little bobcat.
How much?
28 pounds.
Really?
28-pound cat. Yeah, it's massive. This cat is huge.
I want a.
It's like a double Larry.
Mancoon. I want one.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
No, they're pretty sweet. They're huge cats.
Revolver, because of her coloring and her movement and her size, she makes me think of like a big old great white shark.
She is.
She really does. But like a big one, like the Megalodon?
Yeah.
Like the Tyrannosaurus
like
shark.
Like a big
the
shark.
Tyrannosaurus Rex shark.
There you go.
Revolver makes me think of that.
She is, because she's very calculated when she moves.
She is. I dig her.
Yeah, and she's very deliberate in every one of her steps. There's
as
a weight.
opposed to Larry, who doesn't look where he steps.
He doesn't.
or anything of the sort.
He doesn't even live in the moment. He lives 1 second behind.
He does.
His body just does something, and then he catches up with it process-wise.
He does. He does. And to him, it's totally normal.
It's great.
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, he was on the couch cleaning himself, and he leaned backwards and fell off. Because that's what Larry does.
Which you don't see cats do very often. Usually cats have a capacity to handle their own bodily functioning and movement, and he doesn't have it.
He doesn't, and I love it.
He can't manipulate his own arms.
Because there's a second of delay.
Yeah,
exactly.
His forearms.
Yeah, oh, gross. What if like you were sitting on the couch, we were watching a movie or something, and Larry just came up and just grabbed your like wrist?
That would be so weird.
It would be weird.
So weird.
Weird as in like...
Especially because he wouldn't know he was doing it yet.
That's true, yeah, exactly. He hasn't thought about it yet. It just happened.
The curve to it.
No, he's great. All the cats, they're so filled with personality and wonder, and I love every single one of them.
I started working out again this week.
How was it? That feels good.
Great. I've been really sore though.
Good.
Like, going upstairs has been okay, but going downstairs.
Oh, you can't even walk? Yeah.
Ow! Ah! It's been really challenging.
It's the best feeling because like when you know, like to me, I love feeling my muscles sore.
I have been running. You know that I'm not a runner.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely don't. I'm like, I like it lighter impact than that.
Mm-hmm.
And I have been running, and I totally can. And I haven't known that since I was like 10.
You and me, because I didn't start running until I was 33. How old are you?
33.
Bada bing!
I'm 33. It's my Jesus year.
This is it. That's when Jesus started running.
That's when Jesus started running.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I honestly, I didn't think I was going to love it ever. I thought this is like the last exercise I'll want to do.
He didn't run fast enough, evidently.
Well, you know, maybe he went too fast and everyone's like, where is he? That might have actually happened. But it could have, yeah. I mean, you know, they just didn't, they forgot to write it down. They were looking for him. And it feels good though, doesn't it? Running, I think, is fun. So much more than I thought I would enjoy it.
And I've been like lifting and just, I feel, I don't know, for some reason I've had this burst. You know what it is? Have you ever heard of that that supplement, that Thrive stuff?
I don't think so.
No? I've tried some samples lately, and it actually really does. It's a big jolt of like B12 and some other stuff or whatever. None of it is meth. Oh. It's vitamins.
Okay.
But it really has actually like been very, very energizing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I might start taking it.
That sounds pretty good.
I like it.
Yeah, I like getting back into it. It helps my mood. It helps my energy. It helps me just...
Have you been doing it lately?
Yeah. I'm actually training with Lex right now because she wanted to get back into it, and I said, well...
She's back.
Yeah.
Will you please tell her I said hi and give her a hug and stuff?
Yes, I'm going to see her tomorrow because we're trying to go 3 times a week.
How is she doing?
Oh, she's great. She was in Scotland.
Did Daniel come back with her?
Yes. Yep. And they're still doing well. But she's got like gigs writing, and she's, you know, looking to go back eventually again. You know, coming back here for the time being and figuring everything out. But it seems like she loved it, and it was her calling. You know, when you feel at home someplace, and it just made sense to her, and that's what she wants to do.
Sweet.
So in the meantime, we're hanging out, we're talking, we're going to the gym. You know, playing video games occasionally, but it's really cool to have her back.
That's cool.
Yeah, but I'm excited for her to continue on this endeavor and like really push to, you know, she loves it there so much, and that makes me happy. So
she's found what feels very, very much like home.
Correct.
That's cool.
It's a good feeling.
That's really good.
And it's hard because I want to go back to Japan because every time I've gone there, I've felt very welcomed, and I want to go back so bad.
I wonder how Jordan's doing.
Blonde.
He's probably still blonde. He's married.
That's right.
He got married.
That's right. There was a woman, I think, who already had a kid, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. We have a friend that lives in Japan.
He's married and blonde.
Yep, and that's...
Those are the 3, yeah.
That's what you need to know about...
On his resume.
Blonde, hitched, Japan.
Yeah. Well, that might be unusual for like a foreigner in Japan.
Actually, yeah. I mean, he's talked about how people definitely stare at him like, whoa. Despite
the fact that he's completely fluent, he's lived there for over a decade.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. But like he's still viewed as foreigner. He's still gaijin.
He's blonde and blue-eyed, and he really has he has a very like chiseled facial structure.
He does, extremely defined.
He does.
Well, he also has he's in like the Hugh Hefner bloodline.
No way.
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
You're making this up.
No, look at his face. Look at his dad's face. You met his dad?
Yeah.
Think about that. No, like Hugh Hefner, I think, is like their great uncle or something like that. But like, it's totally crazy because you can see it in their features.
I can't see it in Brandon.
Not in Brandon. In Jordan, I can see it, and in their dad, I can totally see it.
Yeah, I can see it in their dad.
It's crazy, huh?
Brandon looks a lot more like his mom.
Yeah.
And Jordan like his dad.
Yep. Yeah, totally.
Fascinating.
I know. Yeah, Brandon told me that a while back. Very interesting. People are interesting. I love everybody's stories, everybody's backgrounds, everybody's got some sort of tie to something interesting.
You don't know your.
I still don't know mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still gotta figure that out. I'm still interested in doing that someday.
You think so?
Yeah, I think it's a matter. It's not high priority. But
John was adopted.
I was at 5 days old, and I'm curious to find out my real family. But at the same time, because I'm so busy, I don't know how much effort I want to put into it right now. I want to wait until I'm at a place where I have a complete time to dedicate and potentially time to process. Where I don't have to be sidetracked with everything going on work-wise. If I had 2 weeks to really just sit down and figure this out, I think that would be a really cool opportunity and experience to delve into the whole endeavor.
That'd be really neat.
I don't think it would take me that long, because they're from Espanola is all I know.
Okay.
White mom, Hispanic dad. The only things I know, I don't have names. I don't think I've got ages, but yeah, being adopted is interesting. Brother,
it'd be weird if we were related.
You and me?
Because I have family up in Espanola, my biological family too. I was adopted as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that'd be extremely weird.
Strange. You
never know. I mean that would be really bad, but
yeah, you never know.
Yeah, so.
You never want to know.
Yeah.
I hope we never find out.
I'm hoping. Did you hear about the couple up in Clovis? Well, couple, and by couple I mean mom and son who got involved with each other.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, it's always tricky.
Really?
Yeah.
Weird.
That's a hard thing to process because that's a very tough thing to understand. Something I think about a lot, and it was prompted by some movie. I don't remember what the movie was called, but we all have our preferences. We all have our understandings. We all have our interests. We have the people we make connections with. And I'm not trying to justify the situation, but how difficult must it be to live with a desire that is universally frowned upon?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine the curse of saying the only thing that gets me is something that the entire world abhors.
Yes.
That I can't even imagine. That would be so beyond difficult to put in, to concept for me. But unfortunately, some people, that's just how they feel. They can't help it. And again, I'm not trying to say that, hey man, do what you got to do. But that's indescribably hard.
I've thought about that too.
Yeah,
I've thought about that as well. I mean, certain attractions that are, nowadays, same-sex marriage and stuff is getting all, mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. But, in terms of pedophilia or
interfamily,
interfamily stuff, bestiality stuff.
Yeah, right.
If that really was something that you felt so intrinsically drawn to,
mm-hmm.
What a trip that would be.
Yeah, that's tricky, bro. I have missed this, but how did you guys meet? You have great chemistry. You seem like great friends. What's the story between your relationship?
We just met tonight.
Yeah, I met Michelle. I robbed her behind the 7-Eleven by my house.
Right.
And then invited her over to do a podcast.
Yeah. I
was like, if you got money, you must be smart. If you're smart, why don't you join me on my show?
That's what he said.
Yeah. It is 2016. I've known you, so I guess, 25 years. It was 90, 92, 93, 94, something around then. Sometime around then.
I was 10.
Okay.
And I'm 33.
Yeah.
I'm going to be 34. So we're 30, yeah.
So we'll say around 22 to 24 years, something around
22
there.
to 24 years.
Yeah, we don't know exactly when.
We call it 25 just to
round it up.
Make it sound cooler.
Yeah, it sounds way cooler.
Yeah, it sounds a lot better.
On my resume, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's like a silver anniversary kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Our silver certificate, platinum certificate.
Yeah, we're gonna get a certificate
of friendship.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Silver one.
All right, I'm down.
All right.
No, we met at the same church. We went to the same church with our families. It was called St. Stephen's United Methodist up on Wantabo, just north of Montgomery.
It's next door to that Flying Star up there. Mm-hmm. That used to be the Double Rainbow.
It used to be the Double Rainbow. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I was in 6th grade. I think you were in 5th grade. Mm-hmm. We had a bunch of I had just started going to that church recently. We had a bunch of friends, Ricky and Adam and Daniel, and Michelle was cool because she was just, you were just one of us. I mean, we didn't even hang out that much, but you were totally cool. I mean, I didn't know this at the time, but you were into comics, and you were into a different subculture than most girls that age that I knew.
Really, that was because of my cousin Clint.
Because of Clint, who's one of our friends.
Yeah. And he got me very into X-Men when I was younger than that. Mm-hmm. And so I had collections of comic books and cards, and I loved Deadpool way before anybody else knew who Deadpool was.
Hipster alert.
I loved Psylocke way before anybody knew who. Anyway.
Mm-hmm. I married Psylocke before you were born.
Really?
Yeah, it was weird. Then we broke up, and I was like, go let Michelle read you. I don't even care about you anymore.
Cool.
Yeah, it was great.
So I was 10 and I was super cool.
And I was 11, or maybe 12. I don't know if I was that cool at the time. I like to think that I was because everybody, I think, probably.
I thought John was really cool because John was, whether or not you cared what people thought of you, you certainly didn't act like it.
Yeah, that's true.
You certainly didn't act like it. So you were so unapologetically just yourself.
Yeah.
Which is, it was magnetizing. You were hilarious to me. You were a lot of fun.
And then we never dated.
No. And John had a giant crush on me throughout what?
A couple of years, probably 6th to 8th grade at least.
Yeah, something like that.
And I never said anything because I was young and shy, and I never had a girlfriend up till 9th grade.
Darcy.
It was Darcy. Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and then after that, John and I have sort of on and off, reconnected, and we've dated here and there a little bit, but
yeah,
John is by far one of the best friends that I've ever had, and indispensable.
Mm-mm.
He hates me.
Yeah.
But that's what I consider a good friend.
Exactly. Someone who will tell you that they hate you to their face.
If they don't value you at all, and they don't like
zero value in you.
Don't like you.
Yep.
And don't want you around.
I don't want you here. I don't want you in my house.
That's what makes him a good friend.
Yeah, exactly. I allow you to break in and drink water in my office. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because it was about 99 or 2000. We sort of stopped hanging out because I was graduating high school and doing my own thing. You were graduating shortly thereafter, doing your own thing.
And I went out of state.
Mm-hmm. You took off for a while.
Yeah.
And then it was in 2008, after I had broken up with my ex-fiance, Heather, Michelle and I reconnected. I think it was on Facebook, not Facebook, MySpace.
Yes.
And then we went out and were like, hey, let's meet up. Let's go to...
On your birthday.
It was on my birthday, actually.
We met up on August 14th.
It was literally 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
On your birthday.
On my birthday, and we went to the Satellite Coffee right up the road.
Wyoming and Montgomery.
We talked for a couple hours.
Buffalo Wild Wings is next door now, but it wasn't at the time.
I wasn't at the time. We chilled. You came over at some point. I don't know if you
laughed a lot. You told me a lot about Heather.
Played my keyboard. Yeah, I did. I regaled you with the whole tale of everything. And during the rest of that summer, I remember having a lot of difficulty and trying to figure out myself and where I was. And one of the biggest days was when I got my Wario tattoo. This is so important to me because I remember getting that and then going to your house, and we talked, and you revolutionized my thought process. You really put things into a big perspective for me. You introduced me to the Conversations with God book, and that's...
Which I'm rereading right now.
I actually was thinking about doing that as well, too, because I was just discussing it tonight with Kelly. I was explaining her, the origins of how that came to be and how you helped me out with that and why you're such an important figure in my life. And about a month or two into that, we sort of dated for a little bit. And then that lasted maybe 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, I mean, it was just an exploratory kind of...
Yeah.
That lasted a little while, but then my mother died.
Correct.
And
that shifted a lot.
I shifted to however I shifted at the time.
Sure. And then couple of years, well, like 6 years after that, we dated again. And
yeah, we were friends. Like, you know, we spent time with each other a lot, or sometimes
hung
not
out,
a lot.
watched movies, just chilled. Like, I mean, it's been the most incredibly comfortable, platonic thing, natural, nothing forced. You know, it ebbs and flows, and it's been a really interesting, very unique experience to have with somebody.
It really, I think so. Well, because the fluidity, that word you just used, it, the fluidity where it can be this or it can be that, and it's always okay.
Yeah.
It can be distant, it can be close, it can be whatever it is, and it's always.
Yeah, we've never diminished.
It's always right on.
Yeah, like, it's been pretty incredible.
Yeah.
And I feel very fortunate to have somebody like you who's a constant. And it's never because you're providing me with things, which is, you know, like, I mean, a companionship and friendship that's, I mean, unfaltering. It's always there. But it's nice because it's there's no either of us on the take from each other. No. You know, like, if you're not providing something for me, I don't get mad or upset. And it's a really interesting dynamic that I don't really have with anybody else, you know?
I actually really don't either. I have one girlfriend that that the 100% allowance of whatever and whoever you are is always rad. It's always okay. But she hasn't been in my life as long, definitely. And obviously the ebb and flow is the same there because, you know, I've never hooked up with her.
Sure.
But.
And I think Lex is probably the closest one I have at this point. So both you guys, and it's cool because I've dated both you guys. But what's cool about that to me is it seems like the purpose of the relationship was to get to know each other so deeply that even if you back away, you know that person inside and out.
Regardless of how it's formed or structured at the time.
Yeah.
Still the connection is based on something that is very, very deeply intrinsically, you know, spiritual, emotional, that I mean, the connection isn't something that with defining a relationship in this realm, it really actually can't be touched that way. It's
and unbreakable.
Yeah.
It's really amazing. Really amazing. Yeah. And I feel extremely fortunate to be able to not just had a relationship proper and then walk away from it, but like it's something that I don't know. It's indescribable, and I'm a very blessed man to have somebody like you. No, it's true. I feel very, very fortunate to have you in my life, and I'm very thankful for your friendship consistently.
Even though
I
am a huge disappointment.
Even though everything about you is my least favorite thing. Yeah.
Yep. So that's how we met, was at church growing up.
Yep. That was it. And ever since, we've just been hanging out and being nerds with each other. So
I've been really cool. Not John, though.
No, I've been extra cool.
No.
Yep.
John's been delusional. I have dementia, though.
Yeah, exactly. You think you're cool because you have this weird disease going on.
I have some brain.
You got brain
badness.
Yeah, exactly. Brain badness. Exactly. To put it into terms. Yeah. No, it's been cool.
So, and I'm looking forward to meeting Kelly.
Yeah, she's super cool.
I can. And I'd like you to spend some more time with Daniel.
I would too. Yeah, I think he's a super rad dude.
Pretty intriguing.
Will he allow my brand of humor?
Did you?
I said some weird stuff about you in front of him, and he didn't kill me. So I think we're good.
That's actually, you know, I was interested in.
Yeah, if I was going to die in your apartment.
Not die, but I was interested.
Mutilated.
No.
Mauled.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just starts swiping like crazy.
like his fangs and his.
Yeah, his claws come out.
Would come out and then.
Yeah, exactly.
Tear you to shreds.
Right.
Right.
And that didn't happen, so I think we're on good terms.
Yeah, no, I'm interested to see that dynamic more. And I'm also kind of intrigued about him meeting my parents. I'm really intrigued about that.
That actually should be very interesting.
That part, I'm like, whoa, this is going to be a fascinating experience.
Yeah, that's always interesting.
And later on, we'll get into, and probably have him on here, why this is such an intriguing situation, which I'm not going to get into tonight. Just not yet.
Yeah.
But it is...
Another time,
but it won't be a letdown because earlier you were saying what it would be like to be attracted to somebody that is not necessarily, it's kind of an off-limits thing.
Sure. Right.
We're not related.
Yeah.
But
it's not like your uncle or anything. Yeah.
Certainly off-limits.
It's a very interesting scenario. This will be a really, really good one to talk about.
Well.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for some other reasons too. But we'll get on to that later.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
But I would like you to spend some more time with me.
I'm totally down. From what I met, extremely cool and very interesting gentleman. Yeah. I'm super excited about that.
I'm just talking. I'm like turned on right now.
Oh, all right.
So, probably better go soon.
Yeah, we gotta call it a night.
We gotta go.
So, yeah, exactly. Gotta go home and TCOB. So. What?
TCOB?
Yeah. What?
I don't know. All right.
Okay. So, this is kind of like a nice evening.
Are you speaking in Oh, I just broke your.
That's like a secret
no,
message
I didn't. It's
underneath.
just the sticker.
Yeah, exactly. It broke my chapstick.
It's so strong.
Just puncture the steel.
I did.
Yeah.
Actually, I've been working out.
That's right, exactly.
Oh, no.
You're too strong for my Carmex.
I crushed it in my hand.
Oh God.
You're speaking in what's the word when you like TTYL and OMG anagram?
They are anagrams.
Is that what it is?
They are anagrams, but like, yeah, I mean that's what they are.
Anagram.
Yeah, I'm not gonna speak an anagram ever again. That's not true. I love anagrams.
I do too. I like to. Yeah.
They're fun.
You make me LOL.
Ew. I mean I do, but that's gross.
It grosses you out.
Yeah, to do that.
To make me laugh.
To make chicks laugh, I want to throw up every single time.
Oh no.
No, I know it's a curse because I like to think that
you're so funny.
I'm so funny.
And chicks just love
Chicks
it.
love my sense of humor. I make myself laugh all the time. It's so dumb. I love it though. I love making myself laugh. That's all I do.
You're a lot of fun, John.
I don't know. I think so.
You really are. You really are. You're pretty hilarious.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. And I can attest that John has been hilarious for over 2 decades, and he will most likely continue to be hilarious for over 2 decades.
I'm hoping so. Yeah, well into my 55.
Yeah, man.
Woo, yeah, that's weird.
Is it?
I'm halfway to 70.
I know.
That's strange.
Whoa!
I know.
You're like 70.
I'm pretty much 70 years old tonight.
Oh my gosh, you're like 70.
I know. That's weird.
I'm halfway to 66.
That's not as old.
No.
You're young. You're a potato.
Potato.
Yeah, young potato. Is that the term?
No. I don't know what that means.
Potato? It's a vegetable.
Is it?
Yeah. They just hit the market.
Are they new also?
Yeah, but these are from Chrysler.
Chrysler.
Yeah, Chrysler presents the potato. Yeah, well, they're neat because if you just like let them sit out, they grow like tentacles.
Do they do things?
You can prop them up.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You can.
You ever watch Beetlejuice and you know how like the mom used to make like all those weird sculptures, and some of them were those are like big metal potatoes. Like they just sort of like sat around and like they'd use like the legs and just like they were no real function, but it was just it's kind of like that.
Yes.
They self-sustain.
Okay. From Chrysler.
From Chrysler, exactly. Look forward to them on shelves this holiday 2016.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And they're probably going to go out of business.
Chrysler?
Yeah, because that doesn't sound like a very cool thing to buy. Depends.
I mean, if you got like uncles or aunts, and you need to feed them. Yeah, just give them a raw potato. So, but there's only like so many aunts and uncles out there, so I don't think they're gonna sell that well. It's a finite amount of relatives in the world.
And they're only gonna eat once.
One each.
One.
Yeah, one potato per uncle.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. You're not an uncle.
No, I'm not.
Neither am I.
I don't get a potato. Are you an aunt?
I am an aunt.
Oh, that's right, because what's her head had a baby.
Yes. If you're referring to that brother's wife, yes, or that one's wife, or that one's wife, or that one's wife, or my sister. I don't know who you're talking about. There are many what's her heads that have had babies that are my sister-in-law or sister.
So are you a 5 aunt? How many babies are you aunt to?
13.
What? You have 13 nieces and nephews?
As you're aware, I was adopted when I was a kid, so I have variations of family. I have my biological dad's side, my biological mom's side, and my adoptive family. So adding all of those together, yes, there are 13. 13.
How is that? I have 0. I mean, that I'm aware of.
Well, that's more than 0. 13 is more.
No, I've got 0.
I have more than 0.
Oh, you have more. Oh, yeah. Well, 13 is a bigger number.
It is a bigger number.
Unless you're negative 13.
Greater than. But I don't have negative 13.
I could.
I have.
Like, even if one gets born, it might just disappear until we get to 0.
That's true. You could.
Yeah.
Well, I have 13, like, in the, positive
in the womb?
integer.
Okay.
In the womb.
Yeah, 13. What if you had like an antimatter niece and you place it in front of like your sister's front when she's giving birth, and right when the niece comes out, it touches the antimatter niece, and then it just vanishes.
That would be great.
That would be great. Congratulations. Oh, how sweet. Great. Well, I'm hoping for that, though. That's what I'm always... For them to disappear immediately. Think of 9 months building up to that, and they just vanish.
Yeah.
Oh.
Only if you're lucky.
WFT. What does that analogy mean?
What?
Or I mean anagram.
Analogy.
Analogy, yeah.
WFT.
Yeah, World Federation Training. Cool.
That's cool.
The World Federation?
What does it mean? Is that a question?
It just says WFT.
With no punctuation. So we don't know if it was a question or a statement.
Yeah, exactly.
It could be.
Dying words. A request.
Oh, it could be.
Yeah. Yeah. We find truth.
Ooh, I like it.
Yep. Women fart tacos.
Yeah.
You?
Yeah.
I mean, you're a woman.
I certainly do.
Yeah. Okay. Antimatter woman.
I think I'm done.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm done talking.
Yeah,
about
this is
all this bullshit. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this has been a nice sort of like lighthearted evening.
Yeah, it's been funny.
Good to chill. And this is I think just the last important lesson for everybody is to remember that if you need to laugh.
Yeah, no kidding. That's what the whole topic was just levity.
It was just having a good time. And if you need to laugh, come contact me and I'll try my best. My humor is not for everybody, but it's so vital for me. And if I'm not in a state where I can laugh.
A state like New Mexico?
Well, like Maine.
What about like solid state, like of matter?
Yeah.
Or liquid?
Yeah, like if my atomic level is disrupted to the point where I'm actually just a mess of atoms like floating around and I can't laugh.
You're not in the right state.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
If I'm too dispersed or too condensed. But yeah, remember to do your best to laugh and have a good time and be in bliss. And even if it's hard, search for that bliss and just constantly love it and embrace it and find something or someone. I seek out people who make me laugh. If there's friends that I can be silly around and they can make me laugh, that's where I want to be. That's a bliss for me.
Liam Neeson,
you should watch Life's Too Short.
Yes.
The Liam Neeson episode. I think if you just search that, you'll find it.
The Liam Neeson episode of Life's Too Short is fabulous.
Oh, it's hilarious. So stupidly good.
It's one of the funniest things.
Yeah. And then after you finish watching that...
I've shown it to a couple people that are like, what? And I'm like, really? That's not hilarious to you?
Yeah.
That's an interesting test of humor.
That is interesting, yeah. Or Dear Sister.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Both those things are things
that one movie that you had me watch.
They Came Together?
Yes. Who did we watch it?
Jason. Yeah.
And he didn't think it was funny at all.
Really?
No, he was like bored out of his mind, and we were laughing like
The whole
total
time.
lunatics.
And I had seen it like 3 times that week.
I thought it was so funny.
I did too.
He was like just not entertaining.
That's always interesting to me.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because humor, really, comedy, it's things are funny that disrupt our normal way of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just interesting to see who does and does not resonate with what kind of.
It is interesting.
Yeah.
But when Michael Ian Black walks into your office and is going to go pay your girlfriend a visit and reaches into the bowl of condoms and flips it around his finger, like, you didn't expect that.
Nope.
I actually didn't expect anything from that movie. I thought it was going to be a more conventional romantic comedy.
That was so funny. We should watch that again.
I'll watch that anytime. I love that movie so much.
I watched all of Stranger Things.
That's fine. I don't blame you. I figured we don't have enough time to like really do it. Did you love it?
I loved it.
It was great, wasn't it?
Yes. It was
that
great.
Little girl?
I loved her.
No, I'm obsessed with her.
I'm obsessed with
her.
her.
I wish I was like 12 years old so I could go marry her.
She was so badass.
Yeah, and she's British.
Is she?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's...
Fire.
Not so
like 7/8 moon. Full moon.
All right.
I don't know what it means, but I like it.
Cool, I like it too.
Yeah. It's
inspiring.
Very esoteric.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the only one who maybe gets that.
It's
I think it's neat, but like I'm not enlightened enough to know. But okay. Thank you guys for watching the Blue Lady podcast. Literally anytime we do this, you're free to write in, you're free to request advice or assistance or just talk or literally anything. We
write John through the week.
Yeah.
Asking whatever.
Mm-hmm. Anytime you want to, if you have a pressing issue or you're just curious about something that we think, that's totally fine.
We'll talk about anything. We'll explore anything.
Anything.
Not right or wrong, for better or worse.
Yeah,
just,
no judgment.
Yeah.
It's literally anything that
Any
you
topic.
would just like some input on, you know. It doesn't even need to be advice that we're giving because I don't want to say that we have the answers because we don't. We just have our opinions, our experiences, and, you know, what we've been through to help guide. Mm-hmm. And if that helps somebody else, that's fantastic. Yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching. Love all of you. And we'll be back next week at 9 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
Good night.
Good night.